Hello guys, welcome to Interchange 2, Unit 14. Now I get it. In this unit, we are going to discuss about the possible meanings of signs, symbols, and body language. And also, we will discuss different ways to express prohibition, permission, and obligation. Let's begin. Popular emojis. An emoji is a graphic or picture that is used to express or represent a feeling, an emotion, or a situation. For example, I'm bored. I love it. That's awful. Great job. I'm not amused. That's amazing. Just kidding. I'm laughing so hard. I'm crying. I'm so embarrassed. My heart is breaking. Body language. Here we have 6 pictures and we have to guess the way these women feel based on their expressions. For example, in the first picture, she's scratching her head. She looks confused. In the second picture, she's biting her nails. She looks nervous. In the third picture, she's rolling her eyes. She looks bored. In the fourth picture, she's tapping her foot. She looks impatient. In the fourth picture, she's pulling her hair out. She looks frustrated. And in the last picture, she's wrinkling her nose. She looks annoyed. This is a conversation between Eva, Brian, and Jack. They're talking about the new Bulgarian student. Let's listen.
Unit 14. Now I get it. Page 93. Exercise 3. Conversation. It's pretty confusing. Part A. Listen and practice.
How was dinner with the new Bulgarian student last night? What's her name? Elena?
Yeah, Elena. It was nice. We always have a good time, but I still don't understand her very well. You see, when we offer her something to eat or drink, she nods her head up and down, but at the same time, she says no.
It might mean she wants to accept it, but she thinks it's not polite. In some countries, you have to refuse any offer first. Then the host insists and you accept it.
I don't know. It's pretty confusing.
It could mean she doesn't want anything, but she thinks it's rude to say no.
Actually, in some countries, when people move their heads up and down, it means no.
Really? Now I get it.
Modals and adverbs of certainty. We can use the modals might, may, could, must, and the adverbs maybe, perhaps, possibly, probably, and definitely to express how sure we are about the meaning of signs and gestures. For example, maybe it means he doesn't understand you. That must mean it's perfect. To create sentences with modals, we need a subject, the modal verb, the verb mean, and the complement. For example, it might mean she can't hear you, or it may mean she can't hear you. In this case, we use might or may when you are not very sure about the meaning of this expression. The second one, it could mean he doesn't know. It could mean he doesn't know. We use could when we are like 50% sure about the meaning of the expression. Number 3, that must mean be quiet. That must mean be quiet. We use must when we are almost 100% sure about the meaning. With adverbs, we need a subject, the adverb, the verb mean, conjugated for the third person, and a complement. For example, maybe it means come here, or perhaps it means come here. We use maybe and perhaps at the beginning of the sentence. Maybe and perhaps are the same. You use maybe and perhaps when you are not very sure about the meaning of the expression. When you are like 50% sure about the expression, we use possibly or probably. For example, it possibly means call me. It possibly means call me. Or it probably means call me. Now, if you are almost 100% sure, we use definitely. For example, that definitely means you're crazy. That definitely means you're crazy. To express permission, obligation, and prohibition, we can use be allowed to, can, have to, have got to, can't, and not be allowed to. For example, you can use the computers in the library. You can use the computers in the library. You have the permission. You have to take off your shoes before you enter. You have to take off your shoes before you enter. This is an obligation. Before you enter, you have to do this action. You have to take off your shoes. So this is an obligation. And the last one, you are not allowed to swim in this area. You are not allowed to swim in this area. You cannot do it. You don't have the permission to do it. Permission, obligation, and prohibition. To create sentences with permissions, we need a subject, be allowed to, or can, plus a verb in the base form, plus a complement. For example, you are allowed to go to the restroom. You are allowed to go to the restroom. You can participate if you raise your hand. You can participate if you raise your hand. In this case, you have the permission. This is something that you can do if you want to. Obligation. To create sentences with obligations, we need a subject, have to or have got to, plus a verb in the base form, plus a complement. For example, you have to throw your trash into the wastebasket. You have to throw your trash into the wastebasket. And you have got to wear a face mask during the pandemic. You have got to wear a face mask during the pandemic. In this case, it's an obligation. You are forced to do this. You don't have any other option. And the last one, prohibition. To talk about prohibition, we need a subject, not be allowed to, or can't, plus the verb in the base form, plus the complement. For example, you are not allowed to talk loudly inside the library. You are not allowed to talk loudly inside the library. And you can't smoke on the subway. You can't smoke on the subway. You are not allowed, you don't have the permission to do this action. Well guys, that was everything for today. Thanks for watching. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe.